Welcome, everybody, once again to the West Coast Trios. Sorry about that, folks. We have changed our identity. We are now forever going forward as the West Coast Wrestling Podcast. We are the WWP going forward, guys. As always, we have myself, Tony. On my left-hand side, we got Mondo. How we doing, sir?
All elite. Feeling all elite today. All elite, baby. Get well, Adam Cole.
Boom. And down over here, we got the one and only California Rattlesnake. How we doing today, bud?
What's up, y'all? Chilling.
And as always, we got the three of us here. We got other people that will join us from time to time. Obviously, we have Richard, who's out on assignment right now, but most likely will hopefully jump on later on during this podcast. If not, then we'll probably see him next week. But because of the WWP name change, we want to, include more of our friends, more people to join in and invite them over so that way they are included and join in the fun in terms of talking about wrestling and, their excitement of what they love within WWE, AEW, AAA, or even New Japan. So WWP going forward, we are the West Coast Wrestling Podcast. So good change, good name. Let's get right into it, guys. As always, we just had SummerSlam last week. We've been doing this on a weekly basis, but because it was SummerSlam, it was a 2-night event. We got together, all of us got together, and we watched it for night one. Night two was a blast as well. But then obviously, we have work schedules, we have things happening, and then here we are again. So, but it's good to look back. SummerSlam was a great event for what it is in terms of WWE programming. This time around, we saw lots of hands, lots of titles being changed. But then one of the biggest surprises was we had some surprise return as well. In this case, we had Kevin Owens in night two coming in as a surprise entrant in a 4-way match, which was originally going to be Sami Zayn versus Finn Balor. But then Nick Aldis and having to bring in Gunther into the fray. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, wait a minute. This is not a 3-way dance. We're going to make it 4 people. And then the one and only Kevin Owens, who was sidelined for a long time with his neck injury, comes back. And we saw Sami Zayn getting upset. We saw him talking about how he's getting screwed over because, he's fighting to get his title back. And then all of a sudden his best friend comes back and ruins the moment for Sami Zayn. And then, here we are. We got Kevin Owens going up against CM Punk. Bad blood going there, spilling from back in the day, back in the indies. We just saw them have a nice little back and forth banter during SmackDown. Again, I want to get your thoughts on Mr. Kevin Owens coming back into the fray within the WWE. Mondo, let's get your opinions on that.
Well, that was pretty cool. There was mixed emotions with Sami, that's for sure. He was shocked, happy, sad, like everything all rolled into one. You couldn't really, I guess for some of us, we can't understand what's going on as a fan. You were happy. There was a bunch of fans out in the crowd crying, which was great. The special connection Kevin Owens has with these fans, just amazing. But the one truly impacted in all this, and I think you're right, Tony, this is another case of poor Sami Zayn, my boy, getting screwed over by the man, not the man, but the man, Nick Aldis. And yeah, what a great SummerSlam, those 2-night events. But yeah, Kevin Owens coming back, Sami Zayn's reaction to all this, and getting put into a program with CM Punk with the win there, and the choice of words they had going back and forth. I'm not surprised. This little jab here and there. But who hasn't had a great relationship with CM Punk? I mean, this guy makes enemies everywhere he goes, but I think that makes for good TV and good drama. So let's see where they take this. Can they take it a step further instead of just jabbing each other back and forth with their history? Or maybe they should continue and just make it more personal than it already is. But I can't wait to see where it goes. I just hope that the match is going to be good. I know CM Punk is up there in age. I wasn't too thrilled with his performance in the main event. I was about to call it Mania, but it was SummerSlam with him and Cody. I just felt it was a little methodical pace, as in we were waiting a little too long for them to do anything. But when they did, they went a little too fast for me. But still, I want to see this program develop into something big for either the next pay-per-view or next few months, whether there be a rematch down the line or what have you. But this is going to be good. This is already getting personal. Let's take it a step further and see where it goes. But yeah, I'm very excited to see those two working.
Miguel, your thoughts real quick about maybe, we saw, again, we Mondo mentioned the return and what the program is, but then, we got Finn Balor also, who, has been put in the title scene a couple of times, but again, he was the first Universal Champion, and he got hurt that night against Seth Rollins about 10 years ago, when he did that power bomb onto the outside, messed up his shoulder, had to relinquish it, and then we never saw him come back again into the title picture. Maybe once or twice here and there, but not really like bam, suited. Sami Zayn, Finn Balor looked like it was going to be a really good one-on-one match to see who, fresh face, so to speak. But your thoughts, Miguel, on, what do you think about Balor? Can he or will he be able to come back?
At this point, you guys know how I feel about Finn Balor. He's one of those where not only he has a great physique and takes care of himself, he's a great in-ring performer and speaks to the crowd well too, in terms of his performance, either coming out, walking out, etc. Right? I think what sucks here is the same thing that Sami Zayn, what happened with Sami Zayn. Let's go back to the week prior when we were talking about his title run and how long it lasted. I almost feel bad for these guys because, like, what are we doing? Are we mocking Sami Zayn now and win the title, then drop it real quick, and then now all of a sudden Kevin Owens is into the picture and he's catapulted to the top, right? Like you said, what about guys like Finn Balor though, who, man, it wasn't even a mistake that happened, right? It was an injury. You mean one injury, and no one ever got his back ever again, to give him a title run? Hey, we're not saying to give him WWE Universal or whatever, but give him a proper title run. Like, no one in 10 years. The same thing with Sami Zayn. No one in 10 years, and when you finally do, that's what you guys came up with? Come on, y'all.
Do you feel like there probably is going to be some kind of redemption story? We just, prior to SummerSlam, it was officially announced, right, that Saudi Arabia will be hosting next year's I would say Royal Rumble. That's in Arizona. But WrestleMania is going to be hosted in Saudi Arabia. Do you think that'll probably be the time where they might pull the trigger? No, bad choice of words. Do you think they'll probably, say, hey, let's give Sami Zayn the opportunity to jump in and actually claim that title again? We saw the reaction.
But
You guys saw the reaction.
Then that's what I'm saying. Then see, what scares me is, again, that word that you say, oh, we'll give it to him again. The thing is if you have that less than whatever time Sami Zayn had, to me, in my eyes, you were just a placeholder. Like, can I even call you a champion at that point? That's number one. I'm not talking nothing against him. I'm just saying that's number one. Number two, if that was presented to me, if I'm Sami Zayn, knowing very well that in a year we're going to be in Saudi, I would wait versus whatever, timeline they gave him. So why is it that you got to embarrass the man, give him a title run, and then all of a sudden build that storyline to make everyone wait, especially him? Like, it makes sense. And I'm 100% probably with you with what you're already saying. They're probably gonna go that route anyways. So we'll
Yeah,
just have to wait and see.
I mean, I'm hoping that again, we speculate and fantasy book, from things from time to time here, but looking at Arizona, and I mentioned the Royal Rumble. Hopefully, not that hopefully, well, maybe hopefully for him and his sake, Sami Zayn ends up winning it because we have Money in the Bank coming up next month in October. Well, not next month, but in October. This August, and then September, then October, we have Money in the Bank, and somebody that could possibly end up taking it is somebody who lost the Intercontinental title. I'm sorry. It was the U.S. title. I'm sorry, the U.S. title in Trick Williams. Do you think you guys think Mondo? Do you guys think that Trick Williams would be probably elevated to that stature now and win possibly an opportunity for a title shot against maybe Roman or CM Punk?
That would be something different and unexpected, which I think they should do. Not gonna say pull the what, but
Yeah, my bad. That was a bad choice.
yeah, but you know, take your shot. Where's Mox? Take your shot. Take your shot with Trick Williams right now. He's like really, really over with the crowd. Young talent. We've been talking about this since episode 1, man. Give it to the younger guys. Give them the opportunity to run with it. Because if you're not doing it with Finn, you're not doing it with Sammy, and it's just like they're just a joke to you, then let's get a little serious. Let's see if one of these young studs from the roster can take the belt and run with it. But again, we got to feed them opponents. And right now, if you look, and I think Miguel discussed this, like if you put the belt on Trick Williams, dude, Carmelo Hayes, you got the OG, dude, you can do 3. That's like maybe 3-4 pay-per-views if you do rematches with both men. And plus Baron Corbin in the mix, that's another 2 months of something. So that's half a year. That's a good run. And then you can do other things. Again, we love fantasy booking. I know there's somebody out there. If he's listening, I'm pretty sure he is. Well, I don't like the fans talking about fantasy because they're not in the back room. Of course, we're going to get pedigreed and all that good stuff. But still, this is something they should consider. And I feel that if they do, that would be great. Because again, look at what you're doing and look at the history he has in NXT. And look what they did in NXT with that NXT title. You do that with the... Sorry, I'm looking at my... wrong program. A WWE title or the Universal Championship. Sky's the limit. And I think you would put butts in those seats. Not only that, you get a younger audience. They're going to tell... It's just like with us growing up, hey, this new guy, Stone Cold, blah, blah, blah. Their friends tell their friends and it multiplies and it can be something great. But again, it's all speculation. I am 100%, behind that idea that you just imposed. And let's just see where WWE, if they can, somehow, not saying, hey, take our advice, but if they do something to, yeah, well, they're never going to give us credit. But if they do, good things will happen.
Miguel, I know you wanted to jump on. Go ahead.
No, yeah. So to add to the mix of wrestlers that Mondo put, you can even put Braun Breaker in there for the simple reason.
Oh yeah.
For the simple reason of why can you put Braun Breaker? I'll add the second thing that Mondo said was the simple fact that every single person that he mentioned, plus Braun Breaker, every single one of those, they all came up on NXT together. They all been beefing and doing things together. Not to mention, hear me out. We're leaving one already big name out, and that's because I think we're already putting him in that sphere, right? And he'll get there. But let's not forget that Obafemi's in that mix too. So not only will you get half a year, bro, you can get a full year with just those guys beefing with each other. So you're absolutely right. You put a goddamn title or another Money in the Bank or whatever it is on one of those guys, that's 6 different ways that you can go, and more than half a year. you know, and just to hit more on what Mando said real quick, I think we're in that gray area of wrestling right now. And what I mean by that is within the next 5 to 10 years, we're no longer gonna see any of the wrestlers we grew up with. You know, we're not gonna see them anymore. Unfortunately, they're retired, but they're gonna retire. So again, Mondo brings up a third good point that I'm just reiterating. This is the time. I'm not just calling WWE. I'm talking to just wrestling creative minds out there. If you ever listen to this, this is the time to start building the next categorically superstars that you're gonna align. Because why? Yeah, there might be good money involved, but Mondo said it best. Right now, these guys have the youth at the grip of their hand. And that's what's gonna push these companies forward onto the next 20 years. Because really what we're seeing now is just the cream of the new wave. This is just the new wave. This is we don't even know what's coming behind. I mean, yes, but you guys get what I'm saying. And
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, baby. Cream of
I
the
just think
crop.
we're in that gray area where we're seeing it right now because I'm seeing the discussions we're going in circles. It's not that it's a bad thing, but I'm seeing a pattern. I'm like, man, we're saying the same stuff. We're in that gray area where I just feel at this point WWE is just giving titles to these guys that are almost done. Which again, a lot of us and a lot of the viewers also say that's commendable. They put in the time, they put in, and yes, they did, right? But that type of mentality was 24 years ago. We fast forward to now. Now we got a new generation that's just popping hot. That's coming out the gates, firing hot, coming out with rappers, coming out with fat jewelry. The crowd's eating it up, like Mondo said. I mean,
Yeah, like what else can these guys do to get more over? It's like,
yeah. So I like Mondo said it perfect. I think right now is the opportunity to let's go, guys. Start giving these guys a chance. Give these guys a chance. And if they fail, guess what? Let them fail, bro. Because I'm sure our heroes failed.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean,
yeah,
I mean,
many
did
times.
did 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 Stone Cold Steve Austin come out Steve Austin his first time? But bro, he had long hair. He had long hair doing a God knows a gimmick. Whoever told him to do that, and I'm like, and look at how he ended up. So, um,
What?
yeah,
That's good. That's a good point. And one more name that I'll probably throw in there is, we saw those are really good names, but then also, and it's funny because Mom and I were kind of talking about this earlier, just because of the way I didn't do my hair. Ethan Page is another good example of a youth. And then
that's true.
Ricky Saints as well too. I
Oh,
really
Ricky Sainz, bro, you are right, man. You
Ricky
see
Saints
what
is
I'm saying, man.
amazing talent, and I would
I
love
I just right, and I'm sorry to cut you off,
not
but
over it.
now that we're just listing all these guys and we're like, man, like
Yeah,
the future isn't coming. They're
it's here.
already integrated. Let's
You
push them.
use
Let's
them.
push them.
You know.
Exactly. Let's
So
let's let's get the youth in here by them. That's who they have.
as they got to showcase them just a
Would you
little
say,
bit
Tony,
more.
that they got the touch and the futures in their hands? Transformers reference.
40 years ago, as of
Oh yeah.
but and I think it what hurts them too is the format of their wrestling television versus how it's being compared now to AEW, because AEW, Mondo mentioned before we got on, there's like 8 matches in one night on Wednesdays, and then another 8 matches on the Saturday.
Yeah.
Versus WWE, we're like, hey, I think we got lucky with 5, but usually there's like 4 matches and then nothing but filler in terms of story progressions and whatnot. But again, you can tell a story, in which they did during SummerSlam in the ring. These competitors also can tell stories in the ring as well. If it doesn't matter if you need to have history, just get them out there and they'll create a story for you. And that's what we like to see when we go out to like a GCW, when we're right there in front of them. We may not know what the hell is going on, but hell, they're creating a story for us, right? I think that's what they need to steal out of, I think, AEW's playbook, and kind of tell more stories in the ring. But that's just me. But let's just keep going, guys, because it's a really good topic. Again, we haven't been together in a while, so we have a lot to talk about. But going into the women's portion of it, we saw Chelsea Green now. Rhea Ripley's hurt. Her meniscus got repaired, and full recovery, speedy recovery to mommy and her knee. But in the interim, which, well, I guess now it's
You too, Buddy Murphy.
What?
You too, Buddy Murphy.
Oh, Buddy too.
Yeah, Buddy Matthews.
Both of them. Chelsea Green, ends up winning the title at SummerSlam, starts running with it, but unfortunately, she got socked a little too hard in the orbital bone, and is got to be really careful going forward, holding the title that is dedicated to Michael P.S. Hayes. If you know, you know. But I thought this was a good move. I really like Chelsea Green for what she's brought into the WWE, and I think it's a good run. Fatal Influence.
Yeah.
They got to be careful, because I don't know if you guys saw. I saw that like an Instagram post where they were involved in Rhea Ripley's injury. They were involved in Brie Bella's injury, which was happened in SummerSlam, and then now on Friday Night SmackDown, they were involved in a with Chelsea Green's injury there. I was gonna say Fatal Attraction again. Fatal Influence, guys, is the future. And Miguel, Callie, you were raving about the trio there. So, before we go into that, your feelings on Chelsea Green and winning the title, and then we'll get into Fatal Influence.
Yeah, I mean, congratulations to Chelsea Green. I'm happy. Same thing. I don't want to reiterate, but I feel the same as you said. I'm happy for her. Happy that she won. Happy that she's getting her moment. But unfortunately, sucks that, quote unquote, now she has to be careful. Does that mean, like, Liv Morgan, we're not gonna get a fighting champion again? I'm not trying to throw a jab there. I'm just saying, right? But
Just a fight.
Now, the babes of Fatal Influence, in particular, Fallon Henley, which I know you're a married girl, but we'll leave it at that. That is interesting.
That is interesting.
Well,
you got something you're trying
Yeah.
No, because I'm saying, like, that is interesting.
Fatal
but-
Influence. There you go. Distraction.
Yeah, no influence. No, that is interesting, but I wonder if some of these injuries are manufactured just to get people pissed off at these girls. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. So that's how I feel.
Okay. Oh, you mentioned Liv Morgan, and on Monday Night Raw, we saw the return of the man, Becky Lynch, calling her out, saying, "Hey, I'm not gonna wait another 100 days for you to defend the title.
No.
I'm gunning for you." And then before you know it, they start running away, and then the babe of the year, Stephanie Vaquer, comes back, and she is like on fire, and she's gunning for Liv Morgan as well. Mondo, your thoughts on seeing both the man coming back and then Stephanie Vaquer gunning for Liv Morgan's title?
Mixed reaction. I'm glad that both women are back. My wife's happy that the man is back, and then for you on your side, your destiny there, that is Stephanie Vaquer, is back as well. I can be your brother-in-law. It's cool.
Yes.
And my whole thing is, I think we got robbed on SummerSlam with this whole Liv Morgan title defense. I agree that we are seeing two great wrestlers vying for the top spot position, but it came at the expense of Io Sky, who was pushing her weight, and she was pretty much holding everything down while Liv Morgan just coasted. And I think that's what really grinds my gears on this, is because we have a nonchalant champion who is just screaming her balls off. And to me, what are you doing? What are you doing with that title? no relevance. It's just like us talking about the conglomeration and their title run. Get it off of them. But, we're forced to believe that she is this amazing talent because now she beat Io Sky. She's relevant, guys. Look what she did over here. She didn't do anything. The entire match, Io Sky dominated, and then, 2 minutes. It was like a John Cena match back in the mid 2010s. 80% opposing wrestler, 20% John Cena. Do my little 5 moves of death. I get the win. And it's just like, and she's bragging about this while doing her little promo, which again, you set up a lot of good heat. Like, I guess WWE knows how to piss people off. And it's just like, it's like we want fighting champions. We don't want to see somebody. And again, we're not knocking on Chelsea Green. She has an injury. But we're the freaking Undertaker mask when he messed up his face, where what was he, skydiving or something, smashed his face into like a freaking mountain. I forget what the details was.
No, you're thinking it's Brutus the Barber.
Oh, Brutus the Barber. But he also came out wrestling in a mask. So, you can do something.
Dark Side of the Ring, too.
Dark Side of the Ring, yeah. But you can do something. We're like a mask. You don't have to take it easy. And yes, maybe they're trying to put more, again, like I said, going back, you're putting more heat on Fatal Influence. There we go. I was going to say, well, I was close to saying Basic Instinct. I was like, I don't know. Just winning, baby. Yeah, I'm just thinking like, okay, so we're good at generating heat, but at the expense of the title? Like, to me, that title is not that important. What you just said it best. I'm happy for Chelsea Green. I'd rather see that program and her and see where her title run is going to be like. I'm already done with Liv Morgan. They just did this to set us up so we can get re-interested in her and her title, but I think it's already too late. Me, I'm just like, okay, I can't wait to see the pay-per-view. I don't need to see anything in between. Because I've seen it, I've heard it all, and the best ever, or whatever the hell their stupid little catchphrase is. Just get me to the pay-per-view, and then just get it off of her. But WWE is not going to do that. They're going to keep it on Liv Morgan for a few more months, just to antagonize the crowd, because that's what they do best. And then when you have a face like Chelsea Green, 9 out of 10 times they're going to say, hey, we're going to strip you from the title when it becomes a face. If they don't do, or they don't treat her like Liv Morgan and say, hey, you got the injury, it's legit, keep the belt, do something, run with it. But if they strip her, I am going to be so upset. It's just going to be, what are you guys doing? What are we doing here, guys? Fighting champion, bottom line. I need a fighting champion. I'm happy to see the man. And whether it be her or Stephanie, already take the belt away from Liv Morgan. I've seen enough. Don't care about the title picture on their end on Raw. I'm more invested on SmackDown because I think right now that's a better program, hands down, or hands up.
Oh my God, you feel the same way?
Yeah, I do. I second that.
Yeah, I truly feel that and then we talked about this, Miguel. We saw the first match at SummerSlam. We said Io's gonna win this. Io's gonna take it. She's dominating. Heck, even my dad, who doesn't watch wrestling, he was like, "Man, that girl she's kicking her ass." And then when he came back, he's like, "What the hell just happened?" And that's what that was literally what we said. What the hell just happened? I feel that yes, her title run will end, but I think she just came out with a trailer for a movie that she's in. I think it's like a Hong Kong movie. I think it is. And so I think she will use it to promote her film and the title. And then once it's done, I do feel, again, that's my opinion, I think she's going to drop the belt. And I hope it's going to be a program between the man and Stephanie Vaquer so we can see some real wrestling there. We know that Bayley's on her way out, or we 99% sure think that she's on her way out, and then kind of knock on Mondo's door, and the other Tony Khan will probably open it and welcome her with open arms when the time happens in 90 days or so. So I that's probably going to happen. That's the way I feel. But yeah, Chelsea Green, happy for her, and yeah, we would love to see Liv Morgan just lose the title belt soon. Lastly, I'd like to jump in there, and we are in the midst of getting closer and closer to Triple Mania. at the end of Raw, I believe that's where we saw Roman Reigns talking to Mondonium's other bald is beautiful gremlin.
Roman, can you hear me from down here?
The Mr. 619 himself, Rey Mysterio. So now we got a tournament happening. We got luchadors, we got lucha libre being showcased in WWE programming. Granted, we got Penta, we got Dragon Lee, we got Ray. There's Rey Fenix even in there too. In this tournament,
Chad Gable.
I don't think so.
He's not in it.
No.
Oh, you said luchador, so I'm just thinking just in general. Like, hey, WWE's got luchadors in there. Yeah.
I think Psycho Clown's a part of it too.
Yeah, who else?
It's gonna just I don't know the exact all guys, but it's just gonna be all the guys from Triple Mania, and then the winner of that luchador is gonna fight Roman Reigns.
So, but since this is perfect, Callie, what do you think about this tournament? They're gonna end up in Mexico City versus Roman Reigns. Something different. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, so as we know, the TKO bought out Triple A, and so now they do business together. So we knew at some point this was gonna happen. At what capacity or when, that's when we didn't know, right? But I think this is perfect. I think it's perfect to do a tournament and say, okay, the best luchador on our roster, go take on Mr. Roman Reigns, right? It's just gonna put him on a global scale now. If people knew about AAA because either they saw a highlight or heard it, once this starts getting cemented in, people around the world are gonna know what AAA is, and that's when the door is gonna just flood wide open for them. So I'm excited.
So to steal a catchphrase that is in AEW's neck of the woods, it is a forbidden door, so to speak, that is being opened yet again. And Mondo, let me bring this to you to a question to you. AAA, Dominic Mysterio is the champion there. So to you, Mondo, he is currently the champion there, but he's being booked differently. We saw what happened to him on SummerSlam.
Yeah.
We saw how he's being quote unquote booked in the United States versus AAA. And Undertaker, who's running the show down there, is putting this man on a pedal and saying, hey, this is the champion. And from, I don't know if you guys read, the dirt sheets and maybe your uncle, wink, wink, is talking about whether or not he's been frustrated in the way he's being booked. What are your thoughts on Dominic Mysterio being booked a little bit differently between the two countries?
There's a big contrast on both. You can obviously tell comedic relief, you can say, putting in with Danhausen and that ladder match on Sunday. Was it? Yeah, it was a Sunday, the second night, right?
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. I'm not taking anything away from Danhausen. I think he's a great entertainer, for one. When you put him in a wrestling ring with again, I'm not taking anything away from Dominic Mysterio. I think he's one of the greats, one of the, yes, I'm going to say it like that, guys. One of the great second generation or is it third generation superstars? Because it's, third generation to be clear, maybe second generation in the United States, but talented. And you are, I don't want to say you're underutilizing him in the WWE, to just put it nicely there. With Danhausen, this guy can do so much more. He's such a gifted athlete. And again, not taking anything away from Danhausen, he's more an entertainer. You need to put him up with guys like The Miz, who understand that side of the business, because The Miz was an all-arounder, but he knew what it took to book a special type of match with Danhausen, and we saw that. Can't really say that about the Human Monies on a ladder match. Not the best. Again, I'm not going to say it was the worst, because I've seen worse. But man, I felt that stunk up the joint. Go to AAA. when they have a chance, they showcase this guy. When they have a chance, you can see what is WWE missing from this guy. It's like, bro, be more consistent with this guy. This guy can be so big in the United States, yet he's put over here, not even a mid card. It's just like, hey, you're over here on the funny side because this is what we think you should do. I've said it in the past. The guy has great comedic skills when it's needed, but this guy is a wrestler at heart. Put him up with wrestlers to showcase his ability, dude. So for me, I just want to see something good on the WWE end and AAA. Again, we were talking about like, oh man, he's going to be a face and whatnot. No, man, this guy is a legitimate heel, and I love that persona. Let him be more of a, a butthead, and do that with WWE. Let him do something huge too. But I just feel again, and we discuss this all the time, there is a problem with WWE and elevating the younger guys. And when they do elevate, it comes at the wrong time. And I think that's my biggest gripe. But Mysterio, Dominic, I'm just going to say this. When he is booked on... Who's he fighting for AAA? Or they haven't announced it yet?
No, it hasn't been announced.
He's going to tear the house down. Guaranteed. Defending that title, night 1 or even night 2, whatever it is, that's going to be... I'm calling it right here, guys. The match of the night. He's going to prove him wrong.
Oh, I agree with that, and I think, I think Dominic should be booked in a manner where he is or at least respected as a AAA champion, champion of AAA, and so I think they need to book him as such, and get put respect not just on his name, but on AAA's name, because he's carrying the title along with them. So he's representing the company, and for him to be losing, that's just something that I don't like. I don't like seeing. I think he should be well respected a little bit more, because there's lucha libre that's he's carrying on his shoulder.
Yeah, and I don't want to cut you off, but then there it is again. When you have like a TNA champ, look what they did when the TNA champion at the moment, who was it? Joe Hendry in Mania, like a few years back or last year, gets RKO'd like out of nowhere for no reason at all. It's like you're trying to showcase TNA. I believe they just bought the company or whatever, and this is how you treat their champion. It's like that's my biggest gripe with WWE. It's like they do not like sharing the same spotlight with someone else, and it's like, but you bought the company. You're helping the company. You're going to need to do a little bit better to get the eyes on that product and not disrespect the champion that way. Yeah, that's all.
I like to see a couple of wins in there. It just, same thing happens sometimes when Bandito is doing
with the ROH title. It's just like he's there.
I want to see him win a little more,
on both ends. On both ends.
Yeah. But speaking of AAA again, Miguel, Triple Mania is coming up. How do tickets went on sale yet again, and we talked about this when we were at Monday Night Raw. We saw that ticket prices, or at least the resale prices, were almost skyrocketing, and then all of a sudden there's this announcement of venue change going into the MGM Grand instead of in Luxor. Again, you've been following AAA. What does this mean to you, seeing that AAA is now moving from one area to a bigger stage, so to speak, in the MGM Grand for Triple Mania Night 1?
Yeah, I mean, not so much for me. I just think it just speaks more in terms of what I've been saying from the start, that as soon as people, the world wrestling community starts catching on to AAA, not just as, oh, well, here's another wrestling promo. Like, no. Just stop and look at 1 hour of this wrestling, and you're gonna be like, holy shit, man, like this is good. And again, it's you're not getting it week in and week out. 1 week you're getting crazy storytelling, and the next week you're getting crazy in-ring wrestling, But the thing is the stories feel like you're in a novela when you're watching them, and then the in-ring performances are out of this world because every guy and every girl have 6 or 7 signature moves, and you're just like, okay, these guys are just going spot after spot after spot. I mean, they're doing wrestling, but the amount of spots that they get is insane. But because that's the product,
Yeah.
right? And so I just feel happy, right? I just feel happy that okay, the world's starting to wake up a bit and say, okay, and I've been saying this ever since they've announced Triple A, Triple Mania. Triple Mania is gonna be off the chains, man. And live is gonna be something else. I know that atmosphere is gonna be something else, man, because anytime that you go from a small venue to, I won't say like a huge one, but I'm saying like bigger than what you had, right? So anytime you go from a small venue and upgrading, what does that let you know? It's in demand. It's gonna get crazy, and I can already feel that Mexican atmosphere in there, where for that period and moment, we're in Mexico, we're not in Vegas. And I can't wait to feel that.
Shit, I better get a street taco. That's all I gotta say once we get out there.
I was gonna say, let's take our tequila shots, brothers.
That's true. I'm about to take a bottle of tequila. And it's cool now because now we're actually now seated with each other, because originally it was supposed to be 3, and then Mondo was kind of to the side. Now we got tickets all together. I think it's going to be much more better. The arena is going to be amazing. The way we're seated now is where we're going to see the entrance and the Titantron, I guess. When they're coming out, we get to see all that, and then we are. We're in the midst of something grandeur, so to speak. I'm just getting excited for this.
So I was gonna sit like in my own area.
Well, originally, yeah.
Oh, no, damn, I was gonna say like, why? Because I like AEW more. Like, oh, the AEW guy's gonna show up. He can be on his own over there. Hey guys,
AEW guy on that side.
Great, right? Like,
sit next to Leo Rush.
It's fine. We can see the rain.
You need to buy that umbrella thing.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Like the whole thing. I'll buy some.
But again, looking forward to Triple Mania. We're getting closer and closer. Hopefully, we'll start, or at least WWE starts listing some matches along the way. We're getting closer. We're about a month away now.
Yeah,
a little bit more, month and a change. But yeah, the time's getting closer, and literally, it's about a month. Jeez Louise. We'll be there, and so they gotta get this card rolling. And I expect it to starting Monday on Raw. But other than that, let's move on to AEW, who also was in Mexico this past Wednesday, and they had their big show. And we saw a big return happening. We saw Adam Copeland returning to Mexico for one last time in the tag team match there. But then we saw a bigger return. MJF coming back. Mondo again. You were kissing the ring, and you were all excited. I think you're texting us like crazy, and because you love their style, you love AEW. I'm not gonna, let's not sugarcoat.
Yeah, let's not sugarcoat it. I love what they're doing. Grand Slam Mexico, like you said, we saw the return of MJF, and what an intense promo at the expense of El Idolo Andrade at the Arena Mexico there. Very passionate, and just letting everybody know that he is the true AEW champion. Attacks Andrade with the Triple B, showcases it, and drew a little color there. Just another name for blood, as a wrestling term, little color on Andrade, and it's wiping it all over. Funny thing is, though, and I do want to point this out, he throws Andrade off the stage, and if you catch the replay, just watch Commander, because he takes either the left or the right heel, bam, right square in the face, and then you just see Commander like, like holy crap, dude, he did not see that one coming, and I felt bad for him. I'm like, holy crap, he did a 2-for-1, freaking MJF, dude. But I guess MJA got away with it, but it's like unfortunate. But if you guys have a chance, see it. You're just gonna see Commander's face just take a freaking boot to the face, and glad to see MJF back. Very, very good show. Again, we did mention it was 8 matches.
Yeah.
Some went a little too long for my taste, to be honest with you. But did they accomplish something? Yes. Hot crowd. Again, when we see either WWE or AEW when they go overseas or to neighboring countries, they are just as much as energetic as a US crowd. By far, I would say more, because that crowd to me just nonstop, did not waver. It was just, everything was great in that arena. I mean, they marked out for Mystico, everybody singing, of course, because they're in Mexico. And, they were also singing along to Chris Jericho's theme song, Judas. So many great things happening for AEW there. But like you said, Tony, one of the big highlights was MJF. Damn, I'm thinking all elite, baby. Thinking of baby here. And just his throwing out his name for the number 2 spot in the, I believe it's the Casino Royale, I forget what they call that. Casino Gauntlet match. Yeah, I keep thinking it's the other one, but it's the Casino Gauntlet match. It's going to be, well, I don't want to give it away, but I'll just spoil it with the match that happened that Wednesday. But it's going to be Speedball, Nick Wayne, and MJF in a 3-way for the number 2 spot. He's trying to take away Andrade out of the whole AEW World Title picture, which is great. Another set of 2 great athletes going at it. And again, it's like, you can call it what you want, whatever the fantasy booking is, but man, they are really, really great at putting wrestlers against each other in a format that makes sense. And it's just not like, oh, well, we need to fill in this episode of Raw or anything, or this episode of Collision. No, they make it meaningful. And the storytelling behind that, you have to go back to Beach Break. So, and then a little bit before that, and a little bit, there's these slow burns for storyline telling in AEW, and they do it so well. And I just can't wait. Honestly, I'm just excited for, again, next Wednesday. I know we were talking about this, but I feel like Collision is the show to watch because it sets up a lot of things. Also, another 8 matches in Collision, but just going back to MJF and the highlights there. What else can you say, man? Big draw, young guy. Take notes, WWE. He's had the belt before. He's somewhat failed, but now he's picking himself back up with new energy, or the same energy. He's still I'm going to say, he's still a dick, but it works. And put a program with him and Andrade just fighting for that number 1 spot. Sky's the limit. Can't wait.
Miguel, your thoughts on the return of the Lionheart, el Corazón de León, Chris Jericho coming back in his old garb, so to speak. You got a 55-year-old man coming back as an 18-year-old. I don't know, man. That just sounds funny to me. But
dude, I don't know what's going on. That's really what I got to say. I don't know what's going on.
I agree, man. We talked about this, and just to Miguel's right, man. Chris Jericho, we love you to death. Don't get us wrong, but there is a time to realize when you move that slow to get on top of the ropes, and mind you, we're in Arena Mexico, and some of these guys are getting stuck trying to get into the bottom rope, so bigger frames. But I feel like the ring was, or the ropes were a little bit lower. He still struggled to get up there. He still struggled to get it in position. He was very, very slow, is what I'm trying to say. I think it's time for him just to reevaluate his situation, get on a treadmill, work on the agility, because I'm going to be honest, I like the match, but it was brutal to watch him do anything in that match, because I felt like, dude, how long is it going to take you to get to the top rope? How long is it going to take you to do something? And it's just like, I get it. You're trying to tap into your youth, but man, that's over and done with. Stick to whatever it is you were doing, the inner circle. I don't know, that was years ago, 7 years ago. But whatever it is now, it ain't working. It ain't
All he
working.
needs to do, is just, uh, like it's hard because we're not him or we're not his body, but
Yeah.
just, just my advice is Chris Jericho. Not if you're listening, I know somehow this is gonna get to you. You know how when you were young, or do you know how athletes, when they study other athletes, they look at film? That's what you need to do, my friend. Look at the film and just look at yourself move versus not your opponent. Because remember, when you're in ring, now your opponent has to wrestle to you so they don't make you look bad or make you look slow. So the key is look at yourself, then look at another match and say, oh, that's how I'm supposed to be looking like. Well, I'm not at that age anymore. So be going back to what Mano said, being one of the great minds in wrestling, being one of the original WWE GOATs of creativity, of entrances, of redefining himself. And why don't you take a step back as a creative and fill in the youth on what they got to do? That would be a much more meaningful impact than fucking Chris Jericho taking 10 minutes to get to the top rope and then everyone having to applause because it's Chris Jericho. Come on, man. What are we doing, man?
Yeah, he
Again,
was
not coming from
technically
hate. We love Jericho,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. We do.
yeah, he was technically the learning tree, so to speak. So I don't know what they learned from.
Well,
from
Big
him, but-
Cass said, "Hey, I'm learning to get out of the vortex that is Chris Jericho. Take my ass back to WWE, and then poor what's his name, the bounty hunter.
the bad apple.
Yeah, the bad apple. He got lost in the mix. He's an ROH. He's an ROH.
Yeah. But so again, not. I know we're having a little fun banter with Chris Jericho again. Nothing negative. We love
Oh,
we
yeah, no,
we
we love
love
it, no matter
the
what.
history that, but at some point, like let's just again, when you just look at it like this, you're almost like holy smokes, right? And I might be a little bit generous, so you guys can correct me off this timeline, right? But when I just look at Jericho's situation, I'm like what wasn't this one in the ring in 1999 when it was still WWF? And we're in the summer of 2026, and my boy's just done a show like that. Come on, man.
Yeah,
That's
we don't. I don't know if you guys seen videos of the artist that is still calls himself Val Venus. I don't know if you guys seen videos of Val Venus. He's in. I mean, he's in full like the towel. He doesn't have his long hair.
He's
just
bald.
like Mondo. He's bald. He's coming out and he's got like a 55-year-old body, and he's coming out and he's doing his gyrations, and I'm like, bro, what the hell am I watching? And I'm like, nah, let me go somewhere else. Bro, like, I get, you're trying to, bring back the youth, and and again, this is probably Chris Jericho's last hurrah in Mexico, so that's why he's like, hey, let me try bringing this out one last time. El Corazón, El León, whatever, I can't even say it. Lionheart comes out one last time for the Mexican fans. Then that's it. He's gonna retire. He's gonna put up the boots as that character. And please correct me on the comment section, please, guys. And I'll probably look back and be like, "Oh yeah, you're a dumbass. You should have said it like this." But anyway,
Corazón de León.
Corazón de León, right? Yeah, there you go. At the end of the day, I thought that was just a nice like goodbye to or at least reminiscing and at the same time goodbye. But yeah, you got to make sure you're performing. I saw the text messages. I saw the gripe that's happening in front of me right now. That I'm like, dude, yeah, you gotta be a little bit more agile, because these guys are running circles. These guys are jumping. These guys are running and flying, and for you to put in your pace, it just looks like, come on, man.
I tried jumping the other day and my legs gave out. Like I got a cramp. I'm like, oh my God.
here's the thing, and it happens. I mean, who knows? Because no one really speaks about it because we just hear it from an athlete standpoint,
Yeah.
right? Athlete meaning anyone, right? But we see this often, man, where athletes will give it to the last day if they have to, and then they retire.
Oh my neck.
And my thing is not one athlete that happens to that or in their circle, not one person or not one athlete has ever took a step back and said, you know what, man, maybe it is kind of time to step back. You know what's the only sport? I promise you, if you really sit there and start to think about it, you're gonna be like, damn, this fool's right. The only sport that I consistently see, only two sports, excuse me, that I consistently see athletes retire like this as soon as something is either wrong or they're really completely done, and that is both soccer and football. They're the only two sports that I know athletes in a heartbeat, whenever they say, "Oh, your knee's messed up," or "You can't, if you keep going, you're not gonna be able to walk." All right, I'm out. And but people like Jericho right now, like, come on, man, just go to the
Val
back, bro.
Venus.
Val Venus, I haven't seen the videos, but my,
Oh
my
man,
no, my thing
it's
with Jericho is
cringe.
wouldn't it be dope if you were 19, 18-year-old AEW prospect and quote unquote your boss before making the appearance in ring, let's just so to say the gorilla position, right? The people before is Chris Jericho giving you direction. Wouldn't that kind of amp you up?
Yeah, it
Like,
would.
I know for me, if I was the youth, that would pump me up. But I wonder who the hell's in the back. Is it some creative, some executive? You know?
I'm gonna tell you, baby, it's no longer Dusty Rhodes, that's for sure.
I mean,
'Cause,
it
I got
definitely
my eye on
isn't.
talent, but now it's the TKO managers that are taking over, baby. It's just a bunch of suits. It ain't the working man anymore. It's just a bunch of suits and a bunch of monies, human monies. If we're gonna go Danhausen type of talk.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, let's just I don't want him to go away completely, but I really do want Jericho, like we've all been collectively saying, just let's applaud him as a wrestling community and thank him for what he's
Oh
done,
yeah. 100%.
but
Definitely.
turn the tide and go to the back in a positive way. Go to the back to inspire the new generation. That's where you're gonna make the most meaningful impact. That's where everyone's gonna get, I think, the last and final version of Chris Jericho. I think that's where that belongs because everyone's gonna get that raw experience from Jericho, who has been through it all, man, along with Cage and and Cope, etc. But
It's interesting you make that point because we do see it now, and it's really, really talked about the in the locker room, like you said, Tony. Like if you read the dirt sheets or what have you, one of the biggest components is a lot of people are turning over, or not turning over, but I should say they're reaching out to like John Moxley, reaching out to a Bryan Danielson. There's a lot of, I don't want to say in between, but there's like a lot of advice coming from veterans. And just like Miguel said, dude, take a step back, Chris, because you can do a lot more. You can have a lasting impact, not only on the young wrestlers, but as wrestling as a whole. If you're back there doing creative, because Miguel hit it right on the bat there, you're great at reinventing yourself. Now, if he sees your gimmick or whatever have you, and Chris goes, hey, I see you more like this, dude, bounce that idea off. Bounce this, bounce that. It may work, it may not, but hey, you're getting advice from a guy who's been there, done that, exceeded all expectations. Because I don't want to say, hey man, I look like Chris Jericho, you know that meme, but you don't know which version. You got a fit looking, like damn. But not to make light of the situation, but I just like Miguel said, if he wants to make a lasting impact and if he doesn't want to have those type of matches, and I think, yeah, dude, creative is the best for you. And as far as the Val Venus thing, it's like, again, we grew up watching this guy in the 90s, the Attitude Era. Nostalgia works in some ways, but man, not all the time. Not all the
what I'm
time. Not everybody wants to see that at your age.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
it's cool. Stick to the conventions, and if you got one last match, like make it a little bit more memorable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, and and I get it. People want to get paid. People have things.
Maybe I'll cosplay as him for Halloween.
So, but yeah. Anyway, but Jericho, we love you, man. We
Sure as hell do.
love what you've done since your days in the WCW and up until now in AEW. But maybe it's time.
Jericho Cruz, Fozzy, all the way.
Maybe it's time. But Godspeed, and hopefully everything pans out for Chris Jericho there. And the one last, maybe the Continental Challenge Cup.
No, there was another thing I wanted to bring up because he was involved in a trios match. So the Demand, with one title defense, loses to Brodito and Hangman. They just made an open challenge. Hey, we want to fight for the title. Okay, yeah, granted. Again, it's like, I feel like these trios championships mean nothing. And I'm going to say this. The only team that made that trios championship relevant, the Acclaim with Daddy Ass, because they were defending it when they had the chance. They kept defending them. Even to a certain degree, the House of Black. I just feel like, why even have the trios championship on these three guys to begin with? But that's just on me. I feel like the Demand should have held it as long as the conglomeration and maybe would have lost it at AEW's All In versus Hangman and Brodito, kind of build that thing up. But to lose it that quick, to me, I just felt like it left a sour taste in my mouth. And still taste it.
They're like Sami Zayn over here.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, hey, that's a great call out. They held it for over 100 and something days when they had it, the Acclaimed. They were defending it. And let's not forget, all right? Let's not forget who they defended it against or who they lost it, but who they defended it against but lost it to. Another great. And those are the Guns. So I'm with Mondo. I really don't know what is going on with this whole trios direction or what are we doing, y'all? Again, the same thing in some of the questions that we got in WWE.
Yeah.
We now have an AEW. This is one of those rare instances because the trios is really stacked, especially with some of our favorites. I know we all have different favorite trios, and then I know we also hate like the conglomeration, some trios, but
hey, that's a strong word.
Yeah, Tony, how dare you?
But yeah, the trios,
I don't hate them.
It's really stacked, and then just to I don't know, man. I like the Demand. I wish they would have held onto them, and I wish they would have showed them the respect, held on to them, and make it a point to the audience. Okay, this is the Demand. We're behind them. We're giving them their title run. But we're behind them. But when you do stuff like this, it lets the audience know that you're not fully behind them. And that sucks. Because what if you get people like Mondo, like myself, like others who do like the Demand, do like what they were doing leading up to weeks prior to them winning their titles, and then this happens? Come on, man.
No, yeah, no, and it's funny because we hated on the conglomeration. Well, damn, I did use the word hate. Damn it!
There you go. Don't sugarcoat it. We even to me, to some certain degree, I was like, oh man, I'm so done with these guys. Come on.
Because the trios. Was it with you maybe before Cali? But I know with you, Mondo, and maybe who happens to join us, Mr. Richard. Welcome aboard, sir. I think it was. I think we were there, and I believe it was with Wilbert when we saw the trios match with was it the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega versus Penta? Was it the Dark Order or not the Dark Order?
No. It was
The Triangle, right?
Triangle of Death or Death Triangle, something like that.
Death Triangle.
Something to
There
that
you go.
extent.
And it was a ladder match for the trios title
With Pac. Pac. It was like
Pac,
the
right?
best of 7 or something like that.
Yeah, and
Right?
and it concluded right there at
the Forum.
At the Forum.
Yeah, it was the
And-
best of 7 series. Yep.
and it was one of the most iconic matches that I saw live. Where I'm like, damn, they were going back and forth for the trios title. Like, and then from there, like you said, Miguel, we saw Daddy Ass and everybody, Max Caster and Anthony Bowen, the Acclaimed, running wild with these belts and made it relevant. And then now they were hiding in backpacks and come on, man. And then all of a sudden now we got the Demand winning them and to lose them. So welcome, Q-Pack. Your mic is off right now at the moment. But we're talking about the trios title. How the Demand just lost it literally, after winning them.
And defending them on Collision.
And kind of like in a way that Sami Zayn won the title, and we're like, man, what? In a sense, like, what are we doing here? And I don't know if you saw that occur on AEW.
I did miss that, but I guess that's a new thing now for titles, huh? When you're like, oh my god, the underdog wins, but get rid of it after 9 days or so. Just
I don't know. It's a revolving door when it comes to the trios. Oh, I don't know. Any type of matches. And again, I think it's just weird because it was in Mexico, and I think Mondo mentioned it maybe off camera, but it just happens to be in Mexico. So they wanted to give something to the crowd, and then now here we are, which we just said it maybe like 5 minutes ago. They should have done it at All In. They could have done the title changes there, but weird decision making that's been going on, and we're just kind of like, huh, really? Does that make sense?
Nah.
No.
Speaking of Max Caster and Anthony Bowen, we there was a post that I think I sent you guys about the expiring contracts that are happening in AEW in 2027, and one of them being Max Caster. His contract is about to expire. Do we want to see the Acclaimed come back? But then, do we want to see the Acclaimed in WWE?
That's a great question.
I'm gonna answer for you. I don't want the Acclaim in WWE.
Maybe they're probably get toned down. I don't know.
I mean, we saw just weirdly, like, there have been tag teams that come in and just kind of just then don't have anything for them. They just do a couple matches here and there, but there's not, like, they don't really have too many storylines with the tag matches. They're either part of like already an established group, like let's say like the Judgment Day or something, or so they don't really write stories for them. Like, what happened to hashtag DIY? They made him turn heel, and then they disappeared, and now they plank.
One out of two planks. The other one's having a better time at AEW.
No, that's what I mean. I'm like, yeah, at least they can at least get that going.
Well, I did pull up the list there. Sorry, but it's contracts expiring for AEW 2027. We got Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Hangman, Moxley, Ospreay, Okada, Dog Breath Monet, Queen Aminata. I'm very high on her. FTR, Donna Purrazzo, Samoa Joe, Adam Cole, Bebe, Kyle O'Reilly, and Kota Ibushi. So,
I mean, those are big names.
Yeah,
big names that Tony Khan has to like really decide. Do you guys feel like half the roster is going to come back, or do you guys feel like maybe we'll see some deflection happening within that group of individuals?
I mean, again, just one name that stands out to me, and this is just based off not now, but just in total, and I think truly he can be the one that just goes out on top and right. Kenny Omega. I think Kenny Omega given with all his injuries and everything that he's accomplished, just walk away cleanly, walk away on top like a champion, and again, he's still involved. I know, I say I know, I don't know, but from what it seems like, I think he's involved
Don't
with
be afraid of Triple H. We can
the
fantasy book. It's okay.
AEW management. I'm sure he's involved with all that, right? So, bro, just ride off in the sunset and grow AEW's business. He's one name that stands out. Not because he hates AEW or wants to do this. No, just based off injuries and what he's accomplished. What You guys answer me this. What else does he need to do? Nothing. 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 He left here to go prove himself in another country, and not only did he prove himself, he made a name, he carried a company, and then what did he do? He didn't just say, "Oh, I'm coming back to the States." He rounded up some of his best friends, some of his good business partners, and 6 years later, look what we have in this product. What does he else have to prove? This is we'll see what happens, but that list of is pretty stacked up in terms of what Tony Khan's gonna more so. I'm not saying we know he has the money. I'm sure he can pull the strings, get the money for all that. What are they gonna do? What are they feeling? Are they getting airtime? Are they in the stories as much as they want? Because that's the bigger question, right? Because they're gonna have the freedom to walk away. Remember, it's not Tony Khan walking away from them. Next year, when these contracts are set to expire, that's where the game changes. Now the whole game goes on the wrestler, right? So I'm interested to see in who really is unhappy, who maybe gets scouted to WWE, and who may be headed out.
Richard, what do you feel? Do you think we might see a deflection here or there?
No, we'll definitely see a couple deflections. If to think that WWE doesn't look at someone there and go, "Oh, can we get that? Like, can we get them? Can we get them?" and try to build them up? Because it's not obviously where do they usually start? NXT. So Shawn Michaels or any one of them, even I'll even go with AAA. If like Undertaker sees anyone there, they're like, "Oh, their contract's about to expire." They're gonna give them a call if they really like them and try to entice them. And if the deal is WWE has more money to throw around, so technically, if their deal sounds better than AEW's, unless they have like like someone like let's say Moxley, I don't think he's gonna leave, or I don't think he's going back to WWE at least. Like unless it's really lucrative, like it must be like FU money if you want to get him back. But there's others up and comers on
Well,
there.
here's my thing, and I don't mean to cut you off, but
Yeah,
to what you're saying though, that's what I feel like is happening to Matt Cardona though, that he left the Indies. So we don't know this, right? I didn't read no numbers or anything. I'm just saying this is what I'm speculating. Prior to coming to the WWE, Matt Cardona was all over the Indies. Not only was he all over the Indies, but he had a title. He was defending it. I mean, he was everywhere. I mean, you guys know this. He was everywhere.
But he wanted to. His thing was like, oh, I want to get back. I want to get back. His
But
his thing was reinvent himself, kick ass, take names, and be the best at what he's doing. And then, he was
Hopefully
hoping
get that
that
call.
he gets the call, and then lo and behold. And I get to your point. And I guess you're getting to that. And I don't mean to cut you off. But I think what you're trying to say is like he worked his ass off, and then you're not even showing his ass.
I mean, he's only made 3 or 4 appearances since joining, and that's
yeah.
and it's not on him, but I'm just saying that's pretty pathetic. From from killing it in the Indies. Again, we know that that's what he was trying to achieve, right? Getting to WWE, but goddamn, it just that's I guess that's the decision that the wrestlers have to make, right? Whether they're either gonna, well, not even make. You're either just gonna have to sacrifice doing what you're doing in the Indies independently, or going to WWE and surrendering, whatever storyline or airtime you thought you were gonna get, or I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know.
Because it goes back to what I said way near the beginning of this podcast is the kind of like that proverbial like catch-22 where you now see 8 matches in AEW on Wednesdays and Saturdays versus the 4 that we see in WWE. We would like, or at least like I mentioned earlier, I would like to see more matches being showcased in WWE programming to ensure that we can showcase like a Matt Cardona. We can showcase a little bit more Joe Hendry. We can showcase a little bit more Ricky Saints. We can showcase a little bit more of the youth that we talked about earlier in WWE. Give those guys opportunity to showcase themselves a little bit more consistently. Right now, we're seeing Javon Evans a little bit more consistently on Raw, Rusev, and Ethan Page at the moment. Like there's other names that need to be involved that I would like to see, more matches of to occur. But yeah, that's the way I feel right now. I think WWE programming is kind of holding back some of the talent that really want to showcase themselves, so to speak. Like we were trying to say, Kelly.
The thing is that I know for weeks we've been going back and forth, WWE, AEW, whatever promotion, right? We're mentioning those two, but it could be whatever promotion.
True.
But let's just say for what we're speaking for, let's speak in terms of AEW and WWE. For weeks and months, we've been talking about creatives and directives and this and that. I just think that there's something larger than that happening, and it's very simple. There's great wrestlers right now in this period in time. A lot of great wrestlers. That's one. And two, back to the first one. There is a lot of great wrestlers. I mean, let's go back to earlier in the podcast. I'm not going to name all of them, but Mondo stated 6 or 7 wrestlers that are brand new top tier that can carry. And yet we're right here still talking about, well, they need to bring this person in, they need to bring this, or they need to start giving this person airtime. But it's like, but wait, what about the other 7 that we talked about? Now do you see that problem where it's like, holy shit? And I feel like that's what's going on in these locker rooms in terms of the creatives, right? And how they breathe the stories. It's like they take a look at this list and how the are you supposed to choose from, again, wild guess, but 80 plus wrestlers, and the 70% of them are good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Here's my take on that on this list. And Kenny Omega goes, let's just say, for example, and I'm not afraid of you, Triple H, if you're listening, this is fantasy booking. Kenny Omega goes to WWE, buried. Why? Because not a homegrown talent. He was there. You let him go. He made a name for himself without WWE. They don't like that. They never do. There's always a track record of those guys who make a name for themselves. Matt Cardona. Hey, cool. Made a name for myself in the Indies. No airtime. Okay? Young Bucks. If they were to go, they're going to be worse than FTR. They're probably shaving their balls while the Usos are laughing because we put some itchy powder, blah, 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 whatever the hell they want to call it. Don't ever go there. Bad move. Hangman, same thing. Oh, actually, Hangman maybe because he's kind of young, but still, they would get buried in an instant. And that's the truth. Moxley, he would go back. He's going to be an example, guys. This is why you don't walk away from WWE. We're going to give you money, but we're still going to put you with the shit of creative, give you these poopy jokes, and who cares? We don't want that, Moxley. We want toned down Dean Ambrose again. Will Ospreay, for him, it'll be 50-50. They can understand. Okada goes over there. Look at Shinsuke Nakamura, dude. I'm sorry. Biggest potential there, wasted. He's just there to collect a paycheck. Let's just be honest. Doc
What do you
Breath
mean?
Monet.
He's coming back with an army. Did you hear?
Oh yeah.
His little promo. He's like,
The Japanese
back,
army.
I'm not alone.
Yeah. It's gonna be I don't want to say Kushida. He was from the oh my god, the Time Bomb, right? Hiroshi Tanahashi with the cat.
Oh yeah.
I think I got his name wrong, but he'll make the intro for him.
I was just being weird. Maybe it's Io Sky's husband. I forgot his name, but
Oh,
Io Sky's
Evil
husband.
Naraku,
Yeah.
Tony's favorite wrestler. You also hate that guy. Me too, but I digress. I'm gonna put a little image of Taz saying I digress. Doc Breath Monet could do something good, but again, she's not gonna get the same push. Queen Aminata, don't even consider going over there because they don't know what to do with you. FTR goes back, they're gonna be shaving their heads, backs, everywhere, just like if the Bucks were to go there. Deonna Purrazzo, not gonna be used, gonna be put on the shelf, like say, hey, just don't even do anything. Samoa Joe, he already told them how he felt. They're not going to do anything with Joe. He made Brock Lesnar look human. They didn't like that. They were like, oh, wait. You're very good on the mic. You can't be the best on the mic when we put you with Roman Reigns. What are you thinking? What are you doing? What happened to him? Nothing. And that's a goddamn shame. He's helping these guys build up, but they didn't see that. They saw it the other way. Adam Cole, you're just going to be reduced to a manager, baby, so don't go. Kyle O'Reilly, just go to Ibushi. You're retired. I'm sorry, but you're not coming back from that tear on the fibula and all this other stuff. You get in the ring, there's something happening to you every goddamn time. I feel bad for the guy because he's a great wrestler, but can't really do much, to be honest. And yeah, with that list, I just say, don't go to WWE. Again, if they don't consider you homegrown, buried. If we're going to trademark your name, we're going to take everything away from you so we can make money off of you, but you can't make money off of your own name. Well, that's the game we're playing. Sorry, you don't like it, then might as well leave. It's very, very hard because at the end of the line, this is what matters to them. That's the bottom line. They don't want to give it to them. They'll give it to them if, hey, I'm going to trademark your name. That belongs to us. We own it because we own you. Leaves a bad taste in my mouth, leaves a bad taste to those wrestlers who work their asses off to try to get to that place. But then it's like, now I got to sacrifice everything I've worked for. And then you're going to waste my potential, everything I created, like the name, my brand, reduced to nothing. But hey, people want to go there because, hey, they think it's like the be-all, end-all. It's not, man. They got options. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I mean, they do. I mean, we do got, not say we. WWE has, those the people that have deflected the last couple of years. So, Ricky Saints is one of them. That comes to mind. And then we got
Adam Page. Ethan Page. Damn it, baby.
Ethan Page right now who's thriving, and you gotta have the right, gotta have the right talent, and being used the right way.
Danhausen, big one. But like they're using him the right way.
Yeah, they're really using him the right way. But the others went through NXT and they kind of like learned along the way. Royce Keys, I think he should have gone to NXT. Kind of learned a little bit more instead of being thrown out there. So he was a little bit irrelevant to me in terms of that match at SummerSlam. But I that's one person they got to really push this guy. Not Obafemi type, but then close to Obafemi to be a powerhouse, which he was called Powerhouse.
Powerhouse Hobbs.
But good luck to all those.
And then Big Cass just came back. So it's like, are they going to do something with him? Baron Corbin just came back.
Well, they did something with Baron Corbin, which is good.
Yeah, they actually put a title on him.
I think he's cooking. I don't know. You guys see his? He used to do cookouts and whatnot on his channel on Instagram back in the day, or a couple of months ago. But it's all good. But
so let me ask you this though, as a thing. Even what you said, Mondo, do you think, and I'll ask everyone this, everyone you just said, even if they're going to be wasted, let's say, but they're still put on a little bit, you think it still will actually help them to go on WWE? And I just mean just for the fact that, we always talk AEW still, we've talked about this before. AEW has its limits on its audience potential. WWE is worldwide. So there's at least a worldwide element coming. So just even being on WWE and at least being shown, even for like a pay-per-view match here and there, do you think that actually will benefit most people to the terms of, well, after WWE, they can still get independent work because they can always claim, hey, remember me on WWE at this time, no matter where you're at?
That
Like,
is
whether it's Japan.
that is a great question there. No, to some of these wrestlers, it's just like us growing up. We want our moment. We want our WrestleMania moment. But for me, I felt like some of these other pay-per-views, SummerSlam, the Big Four, Survivor Series, and Royal Rumble, those are the other ones where I want my moment there too, not just WrestleMania. But to go back to answer that question, if these guys were to go to WWE, will it cement their legacy? I think so, because we and everybody else, we feel like, hey, they're worldwide. Once you see that. But here's my thing. They're never going to acknowledge what you did at that other company. If you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
They're going to put everything where it's like, hey, they were out in New Japan. Like they were like, oh, they were on overseas. They'll even mention that. They'll even say New Japan from time to time. Or even if they had a stint in TNA, not so much ROH, but they will, but a fragment of a section. And then after that, who knows? But does it help them? Yes, it does. Will it help them if they leave WWE and go back to the indies? Yes and no. Yes, in a way where if they can keep their brand to themselves. No, if they give up their rights to their names and just say, hey, we're no longer the Young Bucks. You keep that. Now that we're just called the Jacksons. It's like, what are you? Jackson 2? Where's the Jackson 5? Where's Michael? Where's Tito? It's like, there's benefits, and I'm not going to say there's no benefit to going to WWE, but yes, there is a big benefit in going to WWE because now you're known worldwide. But then again, WWE has been in the game for over 50 plus years. Remember the old saying, Tony? For over 50 years, WWF. Dun dun dun. I forgot how it goes, but something to that extent. And then you got AEW, who's up and coming. They're trying to do the same, but still, it's not as a legacy-defining moment, if we can kind of like summarize it there. If you go to WWE, yeah, I think you're cemented in having a great career. You got to where you were at, but you're going to be remembered more for your run, not just your appearance. I think that's what differentiates the best from the rest, as you can say, because we're talking about Zack Ryder. Look at him. Started with WWE, got pushed off the stage by Kane, career dead. Built himself back up with the Indies, and again, he got the call, went back to WWE. That's his dream. I'm not going to say don't do it. Do it. But where is he now? And I think that kind of hurts in the long run because, like Tony mentioned, you put so much time and effort in building your character, and then they don't want to use it. To me, that's frustrating because there's so much potential in there, not only with guys who came from the indies, but even homegrown talent. And we were talking about this earlier. Carmelo Hayes, like all the NXT call-ups. Currently, you got a bevy of a wrestling crop right there just waiting for that moment. And I get it. If I was coming from AEW going to WWE, dude, I would be ecstatic. I'd be like, cool, this is the dream. But at the end of the day, how is my legacy going to be defined by that company and to the fans around the world? Because, yeah, I got my name out there with you guys. I got to take it in good faith that, somebody gets online and looks at my matches in New Japan, AEW, just kind of know where I'm coming from. And if they can do that, great. But again, it just depends on how WWE will present that, I guess, that wrestler from the other side of the grass and into a greener pasture. It all depends on how they market you. It all depends on what type of push they want to give you. If you have a great run, perfect. But if not, again,
I think I think it's more of a if you're brand new to wrestling and in that sense, I think I would see it that way. But then, we're a collective group of men that have followed wrestlers, so we already know their backstory.
Yeah.
So we already seen them wrestle in New Japan. We already seen them wrestle in AAA. We saw them in NXT. We saw them GCW before they shot up.
PWG.
Mondo, you and I, again, we saw them at sorry as I was talking.
Yeah.
PWG. We saw those guys make a name for themselves. To your point, Q-Backy, will it give them the rub? Yes, because it's on your resume, just like anybody else. Like, I will say like this. I work at Universal Studios, and so like when I had team members working there, I am like, hey, if you happen to leave the company, it'll say Universal Studios on your resume. They're gonna be like, wow, you work for a big company. You go to Disney, and then it says, oh man, you worked at Disney? What did you do?
Boo.
People are gonna be curious, right? Because you'll have that name. To your point, I think giving them the rub, like Mondo said, yes, it will help them out. I think it doesn't matter. It does matter, like you said, Mondo, the legacy that the WWE is presenting, but will that rub help them out in the long run? Yes.
Yeah, it does.
Yes, it does. And
So
that's a great
is Disney AEW and Universal WWE, or is it the other way around?
Let's say I'm like, I kind of give that away, but
Oh, dang. I guess
I'll
you
be
could
there hollering hard eyes, guys. But anyway, but no, yeah, it's a nice segue into like, going into the new week, and seeing all these new talents coming by into WWE, coming back. Richard, before he came on, we talked about the return of Stephanie Vaquer, man, and then obviously Kevin Owens coming back from his injury and having this time run. Even Randy Orton coming back too, and it's cool. It's a great week. It's always a great time to be a wrestling fan, no matter what. Again, looking forward to wrestling. We're gonna probably wrap it up real quick and just say wrestling is amazing. Wrestling is always fun. I thank you guys for joining. I know, Rich, you just got on a little bit, but thank you for jumping on. Again, we're getting ready for AEW, WWE. We're getting hyped up for Triple Mania and AAA. And then, we're going to get closer to GCW. We're going to see Hook again in September. A great time to be alive and enjoy what we love to watch, and that's wrestling. Again, this is updated. We are now the WWP, the West Coast Wrestling Podcast. Again, my name is Tony. This is Mondo.
The Rain.
You see it every single time. We got Callie Rattlesnake over here, and we got Richard Q-Packy. Congratulations, buddy. If you know, you know.
Congrats.
Thank you.
You know.
Congrats, buddy.
But again, this is us signing off. Again, like and comment this
Boom.
video.
I got it tatted on mine.
It's a cock ring. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Get rid of that. Sorry. Bleep me out, Mondo.
That's going on the shorts. It's only going to say, what, Tony? It's a cock.
Again, guys, please like and subscribe. Comment anything that we probably missed, that we should have talked about, or any corrections. Corazón de León. That's what it was. Again, please take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time on the West Coast Wrestling Podcast.